What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Happy Friday, people. It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday. It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday. Hey, we're people. The Premier League is back tonight. Arsenal are back tomorrow. And it's good to be back. Been off for a couple of days, but I'm looking forward to the league. Pre-season friendlies, yeah, that's all good. But, you know, there's nothing like playing for those 3 points. And we need to start with a win tomorrow. But big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well on this Friday. And there won't be as much drama here as there is with Caicedo and Harry Kane. That is for sure. And I'm going to talk about both those stories today because they are insane. And one of them could actually have an effect on Arsenal. Before we start today's show, the link for the Fantasy Premier League is in the description below. Get yourself joined. I think you've got until 7 o'clock tonight, UK time, obviously just before the game, the Man City game starts. So get in there if you're not already. We will do a prize for whoever wins the league. I don't know, a shirt of your choice or whatever at the end of the season. I need to do better than I did last season. Last season, I was an absolute disgrace. But this season, we're going to go for it. Triple captain and all of that business. So, yeah, links in the description. Click it, join it, get your team in there, and let's see how good a manager you really are. And make sure you like the video and subscribe and all of that good stuff, people. You know how all that moves. Before we get into the show, yeah, I've got to do better. Last year, it didn't really go so well. I can't lie. I am just quickly going to talk about the two biggest stories of today. I know they're not both Arsenal related, but as a football man, I feel like I have to make my comments on it. The reason I'm going to especially talk about this guy, which is Moises Caicedo. I mean, listen, let me tell you one thing about this guy. I think he's a heck of a footballer. Let me make no doubt about that. I mean, he destroyed us when he played against us. But I'm very happy that we chose Declan Rice because we did not need this drama. We're Arsenal Football Club. We've had drama time and time again, right? You've seen it. Luis Suarez, Yann Villa, Gonzalo Higuain, Alexis Sanchez. We've had drama for years and years and years. We don't need it. What we need, sign our players, come on pre-season tour, settle in and do your thing. This is something I don't want nothing to do with. I'm laughing straight to the bank with this. Ha 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 ha. This brother, when he said 10 brothers and sisters, he weren't messing about. He wants cash. Cash money, people, this brother wants. So it looks like he's going to Chelsea. But then last night they said you've got a 12 o'clock deadline to make an offer for him. Liverpool offer £111 million, the highest deal in Premier League history. Brighton accept it. Chelsea offered 100. He's going to Anfield. Jurgen Klopp does a press conference and even says, yeah, we've agreed a deal. His big teeth were out. It was all going off. And then the brother turns around and says, actually, I don't want to go to Liverpool. I'm going to Chelsea. I'm reading stories. I don't know how true this is, but apparently Chelsea have offered £100,000 a week more than Liverpool. I mean, cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. I was speaking to a friend of mine earlier. He's a Liverpool fan. Caicedo, no ambition. Liverpool are better. I said, bro, 100 bags a week more. You can't turn that. This guy wants cash. He ain't a Liverpool fan. He ain't a Chelsea fan. The guy wants money, people. Cash money, young money, Lil Wayne, Birdman, Drake business. He wants cash. So at the moment, it looks like he's heading to Chelsea, although they're saying at the moment Chelsea haven't actually matched the offer yet. So it's interesting. A lot of you saying that Adams' deal has collapsed. I haven't even seen that one yet. That was a bit of a strange signing anyway. He's not a bad player, to be fair, but interesting. This guy respects person. Listen, he has got mouths to feed. 10 brothers and sisters. Kai said no. Listen, Kimani. That's my kind of, dad joke. I like that one. Tyler Adams to Chelsea is off. Maybe they're going to, they don't need him if this guy's on his way. But interesting. What I will say, he is an exceptional player. I'm not going to deny it. I think he's a fantastic player. Can you imagine a day before the Premier League season starting, Arsenal still haven't signed their midfielder and we're having a bidding war with Chelsea and Liverpool? It would have been a disaster. So I'm glad that we got Rice, got him early, no drama, nice announcement, came on tour, took a selfie with me, job done. Do you know what I mean? So let's move on. Let's move on. Simple as that. I'm glad. I think Caicedo is a fantastic player, though, by the way. I'm not denying his quality as a player. And do you know what? From a purely from a footballing point of view, I think it's better for the Premier League that Caicedo goes to Chelsea than Liverpool, because I just have this horrible feeling. When Caicedo was going to Liverpool, it felt like Liverpool are going to be a major problem with Caicedo in midfield. I don't really have that same worry with Chelsea at the moment. I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself here, by the way. Caicedo at Liverpool felt like a big problem, with Klopp and that high press and all that. His false teeth were all over the screen this morning. He couldn't stop smiling. They tried to make me go to Anfield. Caicedo said, no. Hey, come on. Man don't want to live in Liverpool, man. He said, listen, man, the money's good, but I ain't trying to live in Liverpool. He's not on it. He's not on it. He wants to go London, man, that London life. And anyway, the second part of the story that I briefly want to talk about. He's escaped. He's escaped. He's out, people. Well, the deal's not actually done yet, but he's decided he's had enough. He's committed proper crimes, but there's only so long he can stay in that prison, people. Harold is leaving the toilet, aka the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Sorry, any Tottenham fans who tune in. I can't help it. I'm sorry. Nando's FC, all of that. He's on his way out. He can truly reveal himself now. We know he is a gooner. He should just come out now and say, listen, man, I know I spent 10 years there, but I'm a gooner, man. We all saw him with the red hair at the parade. He's a gooner. He loved Thierry Henry. But Harold has bust case. There's no way you can continue suffering. Bayern Munich, he's out of there. Prison break settings, people. Finally, the man got some cojones. The crazy thing is, the man drives to the airport to fly to Munich. And the man them are saying, nah, Daniel Levy's going, actually, I want to renegotiate. So the man's sitting in an airport waiting to get the go-ahead, although it says he'll fly there later this afternoon. Apparently, if he's registered by 6 o'clock, he can play tomorrow in the Super Cup. So after 10 years at Tottenham, no trophies, he could actually win a trophy in 24 hours at Bayern Munich, which is hilarious. By the way, I see a lot of you saying Elliot Roberts. Bro, I haven't even got him out of prison yet. I couldn't even find his name to unlock him. But I'll get him out. Well, apologies if you're in it, Elliot, man. You've taken the place of Harry Kane. It's not fair. I will get him out of there. I couldn't find him. He's gone AWOL. But he's at the terminal. But Harold, free yourself. 100 million to Bayern Munich. I'm going to be totally honest. I'm very surprised he took the move. Right? I thought he was going to sit there for 12 months and then probably go to Man United or somewhere. But listen, there's only so long the brother can spend in that shambolic environment. So I respect the fact that he's got out of there. You can't live your life amongst that foolishness. That's for sure, people. So Kane looks as if he's on his way. 480k a week, says Don Arsenal. Is that what Kane's getting? 480 bags a week. I actually didn't even know that. I did not even know that. Harold released from the shackles. 480k. So apparently he was on 250. I'm just looking here. 480k. No wonder he's gone. Listen, I'm delighted because Kane scores against Arsenal every single season. Yeah, no, like Goatinelli said, no more penalties for Kane. It was boring, wasn't it? He scores a penalty against us every single week, to be honest, that we play them. So Kane, I thought he was going on bail. Nice that we won the last North London derby against Kane in the toilet. Oh, Marcel, wake me up out of this dream, man. Can't be bothered. I haven't even slept yet because of this saga. Big up, Curtis. Hope you're good, bro. Liverpool fans suffering. I'm seeing FSG out trending. It's all mad. It's actually all mad right now for Marcel and Liverpool. I think they're going back in for Lavia, man. That's the booby prize, isn't it? Johnny said, I'm dropping Spurs to 10th. Goodbye, Kane, said El Chapo. Spot on, Curtis. He was like Drogba every damn game, a goal. That's one player off the hit list. Bayern aren't even close to favourites for the champions. They're not even close. Can you look in there and see if that mouse is in there? What's happened to Caicedo to Liverpool, says Francis. Listen, mate, it's not happening. Kane's on the plane, says Gunnar Graham. Is he on the plane? I was looking at Sky. They were saying he was waiting to board this afternoon. Paqueta to City, says Dre. We should get Lavia, says Rowan. Big C, I heard Liverpool offered 111 million because Chelsea can only offer 110. Is that actually real? I don't even know about that. Kane kills us every time. Glad he's left. Also Firmino. So, Firmino and Kane were probably our two biggest issues. And we've managed to get them both out of the league, which is great news for us, to be honest, because they always seem to punish us somehow. So I'm actually delighted that that Harold is out of there. Spurs will crumble. Hold on, people. I'm just trying to get this charger set up. It's not charging for some reason. Well, so we've got Mikel will speak to. Is Kane really confirmed? He's not confirmed yet, but he's on his way. I don't think he'll play tomorrow. Don't forget, as I said, people, the FPL, the link is in the description if you want to join. Get yourself in there. We'll do a prize at the end of the season for the winner. I was shocking in it last year. I got to be honest, I used to play the Sun Dream Team one a little bit more. So I was better at that one. This Fantasy Premier League one was not... I wasn't that good at that one, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm hoping that this one works out better. Yeah, I'll just put it there. It's all right. What is going on with this? Give me a second, people. It won't let me come off this screen for some reason. I don't know what's going on. StreamYard's been bugging all morning. Which is why I actually delayed the stream till 3 o'clock, because I was hoping it'd be a lot better now, but it's still playing up a little bit. So just bear with me, people. I may have to restart it if it continues doing it. It won't let me. I can't have Kane on the stream for the whole time, so we may have to restart. Give me a Right, people, apologies. I had to restart the computer. Like I said, StreamYard's been bugging out all morning. 3 minute timeout. Big up to everyone who stayed there anyway, man. Curtis found Elliot, people saying, right, let's get into it now. I don't know. StreamYard's been playing up all morning, but we're back, people. We're back. Right. We got Kane off the screen as well, so we won't put him back on. But listen, the Premier League does start tomorrow. And yeah, Daniel Levy unplugged the Wi-Fi. Free Elliot March at 11 a.m. Saturday before the match at the Emirates. Inverted stream, yeah, all of that. I deserve that one. But blame StreamYard, man. I don't know what's going off of it today. It's in a bad way. But anyway, let's look ahead to the game tomorrow. Obviously, a big game tomorrow. And Arteta has been talking in the press conference. Now, I wanted to talk about a few things that he said. One thing that he said in the press conference that I really want to talk about was he said today he doesn't see Arsenal making any more signings. Well, it's a bit of a strange one, really, when we know that David Raya is close. But I wanted to sort of ask, if we only sign David Raya, are you concerned that we've not done enough yet? Or do you think we've got enough? We are going to go through the waffle, by the way. We are going to go through the waffle. But Fabrizio said he understands David Raya has completed the main part of the medical tests as an Arsenal player. He's set to sign shortly. Raya will already agree with Arsenal on a long-term deal until 2028, anticipating a permanent move despite the deal being a loan with an option to buy clause for financial fair play reasons, which is really interesting because really they've done us a big favour there, Brentford, because Brentford could have just said, no, you haven't got the money, we're selling him now, we're not going to wait for you to sort out your finances. That concerns me that we can't buy a £28 million goalkeeper because of financial fair play. That means that Arsenal have to balance the books. They're going to have to sell 3 or 4 players, which is why I think Arsenal are not being linked very heavily at the moment with, you know, like Fitz is saying. I said that earlier. Somebody said to me, in an ideal world, how many more signings do Arsenal need? I said, if you're talking absolute ideals, I think we need 3 more. I think we need a centre midfielder. Rice and Partey is a very good midfield, but ultimately one injury and you're playing Jorginho. Jorginho is good but not great. I also think that I would like to see a right winger come in to put pressure on Saka, and I would also love to see a striker come in. So I think we need to balance the books. Part of that financial fair play is to do with Brentford as well. They want the money next year. But they're saying that Arsenal need to make money, which we do need to make money. We've spent a lot. We haven't actually sold many players for big money. Let me just quickly get into these super chats. Ambat said, rank these strikers: Højlund, Ferguson, Vlahovic, Balogun. It's hard to say. You would have to say Vlahovic is the most proven out of those 3. I like Ferguson and I like Balogun. I would actually put Højlund bottom of that list because he scored 9 goals in Italy. Hasn't done anything, but you know, I'm pretty sure he will be a good player. Cooper said, heard Kudus is available. Big C, do you rate him? I would take him. Definitely. Bleck said, if Raya is the last signing, then keep Balogun. I would like to do that as well. I think David Raya will be announced today. I'll be very surprised if he's not announced today. Darren said, no, Big C, you're getting it wrong. They're doing this to have one more top signing. It could be Kudus, Ansu Fati, or a striker. Listen, we know that managers downplay the financial power of their club in the market. They're not going to come out and say, yeah, we're looking for more players, because if people know you're actively seeking, they will put the price up. I'll be honest with you, I feel like to win the league, which is ultimately what I want us to do, I still think we need another player, at least one more. I think we need at least one more. Like I said, ideal world, I would want 3, but it's not realistic. But I think we need one more attacking player. I don't think we've addressed that attack enough in this window for me to confidently say I think we're going to finish ahead of Man City. Sitting here now, the day the Premier League starts, I still believe that Manchester City will win the league this year. I think the only way we win the league is if they drop off and, we become a little bit stronger than we were last season. If Man City don't have a drop off, then I still think they're the best team in the league. But you never know. Anyway, let's hear what he had to say. Waffle Settings is back, people. You know the drill. Cone Man Music is back. If he's waffling, we're skipping. That's what you need to know. We're not going to go through it too much. He's got his bottle of Prime on there. They've got to advertise. The Premier League starts tonight. Burnley against Man City. I'm not doing a watch-along for that. I'm going to be honest. It is a decent game as a start for the Prem, but if Haaland scores early, we just turn that off anyway. On how excited he is to start the new season, he said, I'm super excited. It's a new challenge, new opportunity to start again. We're excited to play our first game at home. It's been a while. Break out the syrup. It's that Cone Man Music, people, for the waffles. On if the expectations have changed, he said, probably yes. But the reality is that in football, you have to be at your best on the day. It's only about the day. And tomorrow, playing the way we want to play and increase the probability of winning, you have to earn the right to do that. On David Raya, he said, I have no news of any incomings. See, what did everyone say? When I asked about Kylian Mbappe, right, people said, don't ask him about individual players. He will never give you a response. These are trained journalists who've been to university, who've had work experience. And they're saying David Raya and getting shut down. It was worth the gamble. It was Mbappe. If you're not going to gamble on Mbappe, there's no one else worth gambling on. I thought it was worth the gamble. I'm not gambling on David Raya, but I'll gamble on Kylian Mbappe. On wanting the highest possible competition for places in every area of the pitch, so that's what we've been trying to do, increase the depth of the squad and the quality, the ability to be more flexible and more quality and more interaction. He wants to talk more with the players, firing shots at these. They're learning, man. Sometimes you just got to let the clip off and see what happens. If he's got the bulletproof like 50 Cent used to on back in the day, then you're good to go, but you got to have a go. On the challenge of keeping all his players happy, he said, I think you have to treat everybody the same. That's important. When managers say that, I switch off, because the reality of a situation is players don't get treated the same. It's the reality of the situation. You might be respectful to every player, right? That's fine. But players are not treated the same. Do you think Kylian Mbappe is treated the same way as, I don't know, Verratti at PSG? He's not. He's the king of the castle. Yeah. Do you think Saka gets treated the same way as Rob Holding or Cedric? No, he's not. And that's the reality of football. The best players get treated better. And that's just the reality of it. It will be a challenge. I've said many times, I think this will be the most challenging season for Mikel Arteta, because it's one thing picking up a team that's 8th and trying to improve them, but the expectations are on the floor at that stage. When you've just finished 2nd and you've spent £210 million, we're demanding success now. And that is a lot different to just hoping for something to happen. So it will be a very challenging season for Arteta. He said every 3 days we'll have a game. That's going to change. It will tell you a lot about the human being and the professional. And why are you playing when you are playing and when you are not. On whether he'll bring in any more players before the end of the window, he said, at the moment, we are not planning to do anything, but the window is very unpredictable and things can happen that probably we don't wish for. So at the moment, we are happy with what we've got. Now, I might be reading too much into what he's saying here, and sometimes you definitely shouldn't do what I'm about to do. But because of the language that he uses, and I feel like Arteta chooses his words very carefully, he's basically saying things can happen that probably we don't wish for. So that would probably mean, if I'm reading right, players are probably going to leave that he doesn't want to leave. That's probably how I'm looking at it. Does that mean Kieran Tierney? Does that mean Thomas Partey? Does that mean, who could it possibly mean? I still sort of have this strange feeling like we're willing to sell Thomas Partey at the right price, which is strange, really. You're seeing links in the press saying Arsenal still want a centre midfielder, which really baffles me. when we clearly need a striker and a right winger more than we need a centre midfielder. So that's an interesting language used by him there. You know, things may happen that we are not happy with and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. Balogun gets treated differently, yeah. I think we can see that. On our current injuries, he said, I think everyone is going to be available. I think Mohamed El Neni is still out and Gabriel Jesus still has an injury, but the rest should be fine. That would indicate that Jorginho and Zinchenko are back, which is good news. Although I think Zinchenko will be sitting there thinking, the way Timber played at left back the other day, you ain't going to be starting for the time being, let me tell you that. On when Gabriel Jesus could be back, he said it's a bit early still. It's been less than 2 weeks since his operation. He's doing really well. Next week, hopefully, he can start doing some activity, but it's something we're going to be cautious. Make sure that he comes back. I mean, there were a lot of reports saying he would be back for Crystal Palace, which is next weekend. Again, I'm reading into his language a little bit. He's not saying next week he's going to be in full training. He's saying next week he can start some activity, i.e. probably jogging and some movement. I don't think Gabriel Jesus is going to be back for a few weeks. I honestly don't. I don't see Jesus playing for the next couple of weeks. And he's also saying going to be cautious. This is the same knee injury that kept him out for 3 months. I don't think you will see Jesus play for the next 2 or 3 games. If I'm being totally honest, I hope I'm completely wrong, and the guy's back next week. You know, I might be getting all this wrong. I'm reading too much into it, but I feel like with Jesus now they're going to wrap him up in cotton wool, and that is why we should be buying a striker. We should be buying a striker, or keep Balogun if you feel you need a striker. Clement said, I don't understand why Arsenal are still willing to deal Partey for 40 million. Keep Partey this season, then sell him next summer. Good to hear Zinni and Jorginho are back. I mean, there were reports today, and somebody put it in the comments, that Arsenal, that Juventus are still interested in Partey. And if they can offer 40 million, Arsenal would still be willing to do business. You know, surely, if you wanted Partey out the door, you should have said at the start of the window, I want him out. Made it public, got rid of him, and got the replacement in by now. There's 3 weeks until the window closes. There's no way with 3 weeks to go we should still be selling one of our main players. First of all, I don't think Juventus can afford him. I don't see how Juventus can pay 40 million and pay 200 grand a week. They're not even in Europe next year. They've been fined. They've had points taken off them. They're trying to sell Vlahovic to make money. I don't see how they can drop 40 million pound on him. I don't understand why we seem so desperate to get rid of Thomas Partey, unless it's got to do with things off the pitch potentially. Why would you sell him? You get rid of him next summer with a year left on his contract, or you sell him at the start of the window. Abby said, breaking news, Rice is the replacement for Partey. If that's the case, I'm not happy at all. We should be adding him to him. You saw last week we looked solid in midfield. Guna ER said, Curtis, what's your rating of the transfer window? I'd give it an 8. We need a striker and a midfielder. No excuses. I would give it 7.5. Because I think that Timber and Declan Rice significantly improve us. We've also got to say a transfer window is keeping players, selling players and buying players. I think getting Martinelli, Saka and Saliba to sign new contracts is as big as any signing. So I'm going to give a lot of credit for that. I honestly was concerned about Saliba leaving. So I'm going to give some credit. I think that we've done very well in retaining. I think in terms of signings, Timber, brilliant. Declan Rice, brilliant. Havertz, for me, at this moment in time, I'm not convinced by that signing. I need to be convinced. I've watched him for 3 years at Chelsea. I haven't rated him. So to spend 65 million on him, I need convincing. I've said many times, is he a top quality midfielder? No. Is he a top quality striker? No. So where do you play him? Selling Xhaka for 21 million, I think is outstanding. I think getting David Raya on loan is great business. But not selling... We haven't sold enough players yet for any kind of money outside of Xhaka. And that concerns me. So I'd give it a 7, probably a 7.5. I think Timber looks, at the moment, like an absolute bargain at 37 million. I'm struggling to go any higher than that because I want to feel confident that we can win the title, and I'm still not quite at that point. Fitz gives it a 6. One Love gives it a 5. Saliba and Saka are key. I thought Rice was Xhaka's replacement. Well, that's what I was hoping. Kev says 6. Timber is the signing of the window, says TH. E-Man said 7 so far. And Cliffo said, got a feeling everything will be done the last week of the window and it's too late to buy the players we wanted. El Chapa said, Big C, what you think should we take, a striker or a right winger on loan? To get a top quality striker on loan is next to impossible, I would imagine. Clement said 7 windows so far. We need a backup right winger for Saka and a striker to complement Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I'm at 7.5. I'm probably being kind. You know, we broke the transfer record at 105 million. They deserve credit. But I don't understand why we haven't addressed the attack a lot more. And the one player that does help the attack is Havertz. Vision said, Curtis, where would you recommend to watch the Premier League? Would you recommend, sorry? Yeah, I think the Prem's the most exciting league in the world, I got to be honest. So, yeah, I'd always recommend it. Simon said, great move by saying to Inter, swap and cash Barella with Balogun or Tommy. Now we can say to Balogun, we tried and take the bigger offer from Monaco. That's a great point. I know I put out a brief video yesterday, but apparently Inter are not interested in swapping Barella for Balogun, so that one's gone out the window. Latte, member for 23 months. Question, will you send Martinelli and cash to PSG for Mbappe? Would I swap Martinelli plus cash for Mbappe? Absolutely 100% I would. And I love Martinelli. Let's get one thing clear. One of my favourite players, but Kylian Mbappe, come on. Scored a hat-trick in the World Cup final, man. I ain't here to mess about. I like a lot of these players, but you make me that offer, they're gone. Not 24/7 negativity, 5s and 6s, you know. Hey, Lawrence, I went higher. I've given 7.5, you know. Anyway, on starting with a home game, we love playing at the Emirates in front of our people, blah, blah, blah. How tough a game he's expecting. He said they beat us last season. In a clever way, they deserve to on the day. Obviously, they beat us at the City Ground. We beat them 5-0 at the Emirates. It was our biggest victory of the season. So, listen, I'll be honest. I'm expecting goals tomorrow. Saka for Mbappe. Vesco says no. Saka for Mbappe, right? Saka, you're on a plane to Paris. Simple as that. I would swap any of our attackers for Mbappe. I love Saka, but Kylian Mbappe, you're going to... I mean, people saying in the comments his attitude, I don't care. I'd take the attitude. Anelka had a bad attitude, that people said. Henry apparently was difficult to manage. Kylian Mbappe... Behave, man. Kylian Mbappe. Jeez. All day long. Sorry. Havertz for Mbappe. Well, I'll have a think about that one. But yeah. Mbappe gets in every team in the world. Hey, you said it. Simple as that. He's the best, for me, the best player in the world. He starts for anyone on the planet. But yeah, if only we had that issue. If only we had that problem. On whether we have the confidence to mount another title challenge, he said, if we are starting on the first fixture, thinking about the championship, we are burning out energy. We have to focus on doing what we have to do, earn the right to win matches. He doesn't seem to want to commit to any... I get it, because people like me, by the way, I'll be all over him at the end of the season saying, what kind of comment was this? You know, you said you couldn't... you wanted to win the league. Now look where you've finished. You know, but he doesn't want to put too much pressure on himself. I did not miss his waffle, said Gunnar. On what he takes into consideration when selecting a striker, he said a lot. First of all, how they train. I think the state that they are in and the feeling that I have with them, how they react to certain decisions as well, I think is important. And then building relationships regarding the opponent's qualities in the setup that can power our qualities to help us win the game. It's pure waffle. Like, I get it. Like, he is a politician, Arteta. He really is. First of all, how they train. I mean, I get it. You do need to train well, but at the same time, some of the best players don't even train that well. Got to be honest. I always revert back to that Hazard one because it was, you know, a big thing that apparently he was a terrible trainer. You know, he went through the motions and things like that. So, Eddie trains well this week. Does that mean he starts tomorrow? I don't care how well he trains, to be honest. I want the best player on the pitch on that day. Tomorrow, let's get one thing clear. It should be Trossard or Havertz up front, in my opinion, against Forest. I think Trossard deserves to start. He's been outstanding. I think he'll play Havertz because he spent so much money on him. And he said in his words that he thought he was outstanding against Man City. I don't think he was, but he does. So I think Havertz will play tomorrow. On the energy levels at Colney after winning the Community Shield, winning is the first energy booster that exists. It was great. Everybody was happy. There's still an understanding we have to do better. Let's skip it. On his take on the new rules, I mean, yeah, Premier League announced today extra stoppage time, similar to the World Cup. Is that code only working for people in the UK? Because I've seen loads of people now have joined because I'm getting notifications. But a lot of people saying that it doesn't work. So I will check that. It should work. And loads of people have joined on that same code. So I thought it was worldwide, to be honest. But I'll double check, Dre, afterwards. And I'll put it on the community page if there's something different. Yeah, new rules. So listen, time wasting. You can't get away with it now. Maybe you're going to see 10, 12, 13 minutes of added on time at the end of games. I think it will cause a lot of excitement this season. I think you'll see a lot of late goals in games, a lot of fatigue. If it goes for you, it's great. If it goes against you, then it's painful. It's something you got to deal with. That's why you can make 5 substitutes. On the importance of having the Invincibles team around the current squad, he said, with the incredible history we have in the group of players, putting them at the service of the club and players can help us do better. Let's move on. What his current Arsenal side can learn from the Invincibles? I think when it comes to the Invincibles, there will only be one. On whether there's pressure going into the season to repeat the success, listen, we want more. He said, I think it's excitement. This is where I want to be. We're building a team that has to have the belief and the quality to be fighting. On the benefit of sorting out transfers early, he said, I don't know. We've done it and we have the intention to do it. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes not. On if it helps having new signings playing during pre-season, he said it definitely helps. I haven't missed this waffle, I can't lie. I'm trying to get more out of certain players. Honestly. And now these are the questions that I can't stand more than anything. I really can't. They're boring. They're obvious. Do you have to get more out of certain players? Oh, no, mate. No, I'm going to try and make them worse. How about that? If I was a manager, they'd ban me from press conferences. As the manager, by the way. Oh, do you think you need to get more out of certain players? Well, oh yeah, that's my job. They pay me 8.5 million a year. I think my job really is to try and improve the players around me. I think that might help. Shambolic. The answers are boring. And the questions are even more boring. This is why I like some of these other managers in terms of, where they're a bit more awkward, but they'll give more funny answers, On players being able to fit in different positions, having that ability, something that... Let's skip it. On transfer interest in Balogun, I cannot talk about internal things. On day-to-day training with players potentially leaving, there are players we have to look after and blah, 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 end the waffle. Honestly, can't read any more of it. It's shocking. It's shocking. I just don't even want to read it. It's boring. I'd rather have managers that say crazy things back to them. I actually think Arsene Wenger would have been quite funny. So people are saying, Dre, if you update your app, then it might work. Because Wes says he's in South Africa. I've seen people saying they updated the app and it worked. So try that. Mbappe would stay for 3 years, then leave you with nothing except financial fair play problems. Listen, Mbappe, you put Mbappe in Arsenal's team last year, we win the title. So if he wins as a title, ducks out after 3 years, I'll take that. We haven't won a league for, 18 years? I'm willing to take it. Joey said, big up from South Texas. We got to get off to a hot start just like last year and be ruthless this time around. Still need a damn striker and a winger. I agree. And Riz, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate that one. Mashing me up with that picture. Mbappe's not coming for 3 years. Listen, well, yeah, he's going to go Madrid, isn't he? Make sure you like the video and subscribe. Apologies for the little technical glitch that we had. StreamYard's been crashing a lot. midstream. So I'm hoping I can get to the end of this stream with no more problems. Obviously, we were speaking about David Raya. Fabrizio confirming the majority of his medical has been completed. Could be announced today. It'll be a 1-year loan with an option to buy next summer, which I think is very smart business. We obviously spoke briefly as well about Kane to Bayern Munich. And obviously Caicedo to Chelsea or to Liverpool. Reading here that Daniel Levy, while Kane was at the airport, decided he wanted higher add-ons, which caused the delay to him flying out. That guy is the most shameless chairman probably in the history of football, isn't he? But Caicedo, like I said, with Caicedo, I'm glad that we are out of that drama. We don't need the drama. I think it's a good debate. Kaisedo, Declan Rice. I know a lot of the community was saying at the time they felt that Kaisedo was maybe better than Declan Rice. But what I will say, I would have hated to have been in a situation today where, you know, we still needed a midfielder and we're in drama like this trying to sign someone. So I'm delighted that we got our midfielder early. He loves the club. He wants to be here. And we can focus on that. So I think it's great. I think we made the right choice. But listen, whoever gets Caicedo, there's no doubt you're signing a heck of a player. You know, let me not cap. But as I said earlier, I think him going to Liverpool is more dangerous for the league than him going to Chelsea. Anyway, let's focus on tomorrow, people. Arsenal against Nottingham Forest in the Premier League. First game back. Obviously, Manchester City play against Burnley tonight, which will be interesting because this is a new look Burnley. This is a Burnley under Vincent Kompany now that actually is trying to play good football. It ain't like Burnley where they was elbowing you in the face. You know, they're actually trying to pass the ball around now. So, you know, it's going to be interesting how much more difficult or easier it is to play against Burnley this season. But what I'm going to do, we're going to pick our side for tomorrow. Forget Arteta's selection. This is, you know, community side for tomorrow. And what we would go for against Forest in our first home game of the season. Now, I think the majority of the team picks itself. There's only probably 1 or 2 selections. There we go. No, next one. There we go. 2. Well, I'm putting it down as 2 DMs, but that's how I think we'll line up anyway. So, Raya, by the looks of it, he hasn't signed in time. So he can't play in goal. He wouldn't have played in goal anyway. Rambo will be in goal. Centre-backs pick themselves. I always think good teams, the majority of the team will pick itself. That's a sign of a good team. Are we all saying that the back four is the same as the one against Manchester City? Because for me it is. Zinchenko isn't match fit. And Tierney can probably get sold. Which is, this is not me. This is just what I think. Tierney or Timber, listen, there's no way on earth that Timber cannot be in this team. And I think Ben White's done really well. So I think you've got to give him his props at right back and leave him there. I honestly thought Timber would be at right back and probably Zinchenko would be at left back. But I think Zinny's not fully fit. I do think eventually you've got to look at Timber, though, and go, do we get him in a more natural position? He can play at left back. He looks very good there. Is there going to be a day against like a Salah or somebody where he gets exposed because he's not there? You know? So, yeah, but I think the back four picks itself. What's interesting is because we're playing Forest tomorrow, I was thinking, would he take more of a gamble and maybe play Rice with Havertz and Odegaard? But because it's the first game of the season, because we lost to them away from home, I think you have to just play Rice and Partey and be solid and work your way from there. Odegaard, obviously the skipper, no doubt about that. Saka on the right. That's an obvious one. Has anybody got any debates with the other two? For me, obviously, Martinelli plays on the left. I personally would play Trossard up front. I think sometimes when a player is so influential in the team, I think sometimes you've got to reward him. You can't keep saying to Trossard, oh, you played well. You played well again. You scored 2 against Barcelona. You scored the equaliser against Man City. You scored your penalty against Man City. You scored your penalty against Monaco. You know, everything. He's doing everything that's being asked of him and still not getting in the team. Now, I'm going to be totally honest. I think Havertz will play up front tomorrow. I 100% think Havertz will play up front because the manager wants to justify that signing. And him having Jesus out of the team presents him with an opportunity to get him into the starting lineup with no hassle, no questions. He can't drop Jesus for Havertz, but while Jesus is out, he can give Havertz a run in the team and try and get his confidence. What I will say, if Havertz plays tomorrow, I think he'll probably score. I think he'll... Because one thing I always say with Havertz, he always seems to get chances, which is a unique quality as a striker, as an attacking player. You worry more when you're not getting chances than when you're missing chances. Missing chances means your movement is good. You're getting in good positions. I think if Havertz plays up front tomorrow, he will actually probably score. I'm saying it. I think he will against Forest. But I feel quite harsh leaving Trossard out of the team. But the reality is, this is what I think he'll play. I would play Trossard, though, but maybe I'm a bit more ruthless. I would play him up front in that false 9. I think very difficult to mark. You know, those 3 can interchange as well. Trossard and Saka and Martinelli makes it very difficult for the centre-backs to pick you up. So, yeah, I would like to see that front 3. But listen, one thing about us at the moment, we got good options off the bench, and that always, you know, leads to good battling. You're gonna have Zinchenko on the bench tomorrow. You'll have Jorginho. You'll have Smith Rowe. You'll have Trossard. There's some quality there. I still think we need a bit more, and obviously we're still missing Gabriel Jesus as well. So listen, I think Havertz will start tomorrow, and I think he'll score. If he starts, I think he'll score tomorrow, because I think his movement will dominate possession, will create more chances than the Manchester City game. He's at home, and I think he really wants the manager to get him in a position to take that pressure off him, and a goal would do that. Vision said where to watch the Premier League games. I mean, Sky, if you're in England. That game tomorrow is on TNT, which is the new name for BT Sport. Young Gunner said, do you think Odegaard will reach Kevin De Bruyne's level? Different players, but I believe he could. Have you seen Pavard linked to United? Defensively suspect. So I think United are looking at Pavard as a potential replacement for Harry Maguire. I've never really rated Pavard, but I've always said that Pavard to me looks like a centre-back playing at right-back. So maybe Man United will actually play him at centre-back to replace Maguire. He may do well there. So I don't rate Pavard, but I suppose he ain't going to do any worse than what Maguire's done at centre-back. You know, so yeah, I can understand them taking a chance on Pavard. I think he's 25 million as well. But listen, interesting, but I suppose my main thing is I'm still looking for a bit more in terms of attackers in this Arsenal team. Do I think Odegaard can reach Kevin De Bruyne's level? Time will tell. I mean, Odegaard is what, 24? And he's at a fantastic level at the moment. He got 15 goals last year. I think Kevin De Bruyne is up there with the best midfielders we've seen in the Premier League. I think he's up there he's in the conversation with all of them. But Odegaard, you know, 24. You look at Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne's in his 30s now. 32 years of age, you know. He's 8 years younger than Kevin De Bruyne. And last season, you know, he scored more goals than him. What I will say about Kevin De Bruyne is, you know, I think he's a big game player, De Bruyne. I feel like De Bruyne will turn up when they really need him. Although he gets criticised for his Champions League bits. I think Odegaard needs to add that big game thing. You know, if we got Barcelona in the Champions League or Bayern Munich, I want to see him go to the Nou Camp or go to the Allianz. And he's got to turn up in them big games for me. If he can do that, then you know, in the conversation. But De Bruyne's different level at the moment. You know, 16 assists last season. He's an outstanding footballer, but it will take time. If Odegaard can grab them big games, be more aggressive, like Rowan's saying. Not aggressive even in terms of like running around tackling people. Like, I always say, the best players, they will pull you out of a hole sometimes. Like, your team's having a bad game, they will step up and say, give me the ball, I'll sort this mess out. Gerrard used to do it for Liverpool, Lampard for Chelsea, Henry for Arsenal, Yaya Toure for Man City. Give me the ball, I'll sort it out. I think sometimes with Odegaard, when we're not playing well, he can fall with us a little bit. But listen, they are slightly different players as well. De Bruyne is a different profile. His pace is underrated, very mobile. Odegaard isn't really a ball carrier. Yeah, I would say De Bruyne can run more with the ball. But listen, Odegaard's got crazy potential, is what I would say. I think he can definitely go higher. 6 million said, a fact that shocked me about Kevin De Bruyne is that the most goals he has scored in a Champions League season is 3 goals. That's very interesting, yeah. 3 goals, so he doesn't score a lot in the Champions League. I mean, even last year, 10 Champions League games, he only scored 2. So he's not prolific. He's only had 2 seasons as well in the Prem where he's even got double figures, which is surprising. You know, De Bruyne, a lot of years, 7 goals, 6 goals, 8 goals. He's got 13 and 15. Now, when you think Odegaard got 15 last year, he's matched Kevin De Bruyne's highest ever goal tally. So, listen, it's there for Odegaard, but he needs to, can he grow into that character? I feel Kevin De Bruyne has got that mentality that I'm going to be, you know, a top player. Champions League finally back at the carpet. Cannot wait. I cannot wait. The draw's at the end of the month. I absolutely can't wait for that. I just want to see who we get. Anyway, before we round up, we've been on for 53 minutes. Let's talk about Balogun. Do we ever do a show without talking about Balogun nowadays? Every day, there's more stories surrounding him. Yesterday, we were saying that Arsenal were going to try and use him as a make-weight to maybe get Barella from Inter Milan. It looks as if Balogun is edging towards a move to Monaco. He is talking to Monaco at the moment. It's believed that Inter Milan are pulling out. They're not interested. They can't afford him, and they are not interested in even trying to do it. Financially, they are very restricted at the moment, and they're not interested in any swap deal for Barella. Monaco seem to have cash on the hip. They've had a 40 million euro offer rejected for him, which is around 35 million pounds. Arsenal apparently want 50 million euros, which is around 45 million pounds. And it's believed Monaco could be willing to pay it. As I say, Breel Embolo, the Swiss forward, has done his ACL injury, and he could be out for a long time this season. And they need a striker to play up front with Ben Yedder. And if they get to 50 million euros, Balogun will be sold. I've got no doubt about that. Obviously, he's proven in that division, so they're probably prepared to pay the money. He scored 21 goals in the French league. Go said, if Monaco get Balogun, do you think we can get Fofana? That Fofana looked fantastic against Arsenal for Monaco. He looks a player. Rastaman said he's going to upload Falcao videos. Yeah, he was putting up R9 videos. He might put Morientes and Falcao and all them man who used to play for Monaco back in the day. Guna ER said, big mistake, keep him. What I thought was very interesting, I don't know if I'm reading too much into this, it doesn't mean a lot. But in the media day the other day, Balogun was involved in all the pictures, which I thought, if this guy's on the verge of leaving, why would you have him in all your team photos and take his individual photos? I don't know. I'm not sure. Young Gunner said, maybe one of the reasons we focused on signing defenders is because we conceded too many goals at home last season. We can always outscore teams. I think so. I would still look for an attacker as well. I honestly thought at the end of last season that Balogun would be here this season. I thought they would sell Eddie and keep Jesus and keep Balogun. I'm really surprised that they're selling him. I suppose from a financial point of view, to get 50 million euros for a player that a year ago was nowhere near getting first team football at Arsenal. People saying Balogun trained yesterday, maybe on the bench. That would be interesting. Um, it's a strange one. It's a strange one to let him go that early, but I just think it's the demand for first team football. According to reports, Arsenal have offered him a new contract, and he said no, not because he's not prepared to accept the money. It's because of the circumstances surrounding it. To me, Eddie is the player that is in the way of Balogun staying. And I know that might sound very harsh, and some people say I'm too hard on Eddie. I think if Gabriel Jesus is number one and Balogun is number two, I think he would sign a contract under those circumstances, because a lot of people I've spoken to and people who know him and have been around the training ground say he's got crazy belief in his own ability. Very, very much has a big ego, big belief that he's going to be a top striker. Now, if you said to him, listen, Gabriel Jesus, he's been injury prone. He only scored 11 goals last season. You and him go head to head. I think Balogun would sign a new deal under those circumstances. The problem you've got is you're going Gabriel Jesus, Eddie's still here. Havertz can go up there sometimes. In reality, Balogun, I think, would be fourth choice striker at Arsenal. That's what I believe. I think he would play Jesus, he would play Havertz, he would play Eddie, and then he would play Balogun. I don't think Balogun is ahead of fourth choice. So he's looking at it going, what's the point of me staying it? World Cup in a couple of years, I'm off. But I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised. Not often we just get rid of a player at that age with that much potential. And it is potential. He's not proven. I'm not saying that he's a world beater. But the potential is there. I just, to keep Eddie and sell Balogun, something about that just doesn't sit right with me. I would rather get 20 million for Eddie and keep Balogun than get 40 million for Balogun, because you just don't know how good this guy's going to be. And I hope it's not another Serge Gnabry. Ghosted said, I'm not too sure how reliable the news is, but Ben Yedder looks like he's gotten involved in some off-the-field issues, so they will do what it takes to sign Balogun. Well, if Ben Yedder's out as well and then Bolo's injured, they're definitely going to have to pay the 50. Franklin said that's a massive oversimplification of the striker situation. Havertz and Trossard are also ahead of Balogun. The reality is, though, are they better strikers than Balogun? None of them two are strikers. Somebody who can play there and somebody who is a natural player there is different. It's different. Havertz up front at Chelsea has not done a lot. He's been a flop there. Trossard can play false nine, but he's a better left winger. And this is somebody that's come through our system. Listen, I get it. Maybe it is, I've put it in basic terms, but to put it to the community in a simple way, as you said, Franklin, or in fact, you put an even longer word, I won't say it again. I would rather sell Eddie for 20 and keep Balogun than sell Balogun for 40 and keep Eddie. Because what does that extra 20 million get any Arsenal fan? What does it get us? Is that going to be the difference? I don't think it is. But it is what it is. Listen, he's probably on his way anyway. So it's our system. Yeah, maybe. Maybe he feels Balogun doesn't have the link-up play. But interesting that he trained this week. And interesting that he was in all the media pictures. So you never know. Stranger things have happened. It only takes one good conversation. Balogun but we'll see. We will see with that one. Listen, people, thank you very much for tuning in today. Really appreciate it. As I said, apologies for the little glitch we had earlier on. Just quickly, I'm predicting 3-0 to Arsenal tomorrow. I think we're going to beat them 3-0. I don't think Forest will be able to live with us. I think if we can score in the first half, we'll put them to the sword. They will set up, make life difficult with Brennan Johnson and Elanga and Gibbs White. They will try and catch us on the break, that's for sure. But I'm going for 3-0. We're at home. We need to start the season bright. We need to win. I want to see a clean sheet with that back four. I'm going for a 3-0 win. Kimani's saying 5. A lot of you saying 4. Joe Blue, Alan saying 4. Mo7 says 3. The FPL is in the link in the description. It's there for everyone. Mr. Gamer says 4. Clement saying 4. Kevy saying 5. I think because it's the first game of the season, it can always be a bit cautious. So that's why I'm not going as high as like 4, 5, or 6. DV said, serious question. Apart from scoring in the Farmers League, what have Balogun done to make you... Bro, the main thing is scoring. You're saying apart from scoring, but scoring wins you games. I watched Haaland a lot of games last season. I'm saying, doesn't do much. But he scores, and he scores, and he scores. Now, I'm not saying Balogun is Haaland. Of course he's not. But goals win you games, and there aren't many natural goal scorers around at the moment. So I'm saying I would give him a chance before selling him. We can say Farmers League, but Mbappe's come out of there. Hazard's come out of there. Aubameyang was there before Germany. You know, top players have come from that. Thierry Henry came from the French league. Let's see. Galvin said, big ups from Cali, Big C. My name is Temo. It's my B-day. Took my son to LA to try and meet you. We love your watch-alongs with you and your son. Keep it up. Come on, you Gunners. Big up yourself, and hope you have a good birthday. Appreciate the super chat. Apologies if I didn't meet you in LA. I was outside them stadiums, but you know what happened? I actually didn't get to meet as many people as I was hoping, because the problem with that media pass, what I had is you stay for the press conference and then you stay in the mix zone with the players. So I wasn't coming out till 45 minutes to an hour after the game finished. So I did miss some people. So my apologies, but big up to you and happy birthday. Luba said, bless Big C, we are winning the league or the Champions League. Does anybody think we win the league or the Champions League? I'll be honest, I'm not sure. I hope you're right. I think we're more likely to maybe win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. But you never know. You never know. Maybe we can get a shock signing at the end of the window. Car Park Drake, we'll leave it there, that guy D. You've said enough. The link is in the description. Join it before 7 o'clock UK time to make sure you're involved. 7, so what you got, about 3 hours. Once the teams come out for the Man City game, I don't think you can join for this week. So you've got 3 hours. For those of you who are struggling to join, some of you have said that the code wasn't working. Update the app on your phone or your tablet, and hopefully that will let you in. So I'm hoping that you can all get in. I've seen loads of you in there. So big up. Somebody said, what's my team called? I called it Curtis Shaw FC. So there you go. Get your teams in. The code's in the description. Everything's there, people. Click the link, type in the code, pick your team. Bang, you've got 3 hours to get in. And I will be giving a prize away for whoever wins that at the end of the year. So big up to everyone. Watch along settings tomorrow. I actually forgot. Let me not let you go without going. It is, what is it? 12:30 kickoff. Wow. It's an early one. Yeah, 12:30 kickoff. I'll be live 11:30, people. First game of the season, we'll go live an hour before kickoff. So, you know, do you know what? One thing about going abroad and going on tour, I got so much respect for those of you who get up at crazy times in the morning and stuff and in the night to watch Arsenal or your team play. So big up. 11:30 a.m. Watch along settings. Arsenal against Forest. Get your team in the FPL. Link in the description below. You've got 3 hours to join. Big up to everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Like the video. I'll see you all tomorrow. Let's hope Burnley can clip Man City tonight, people. Bless.